Much time has passed since I've last seen my older sisters. I feel protected in the material just as I felt the protection of the voice guiding my steps. But though I have favor in high places, I feel I've overshadowed my fellow sisters. Envy and pride aren't virtues our order subscribes to, but we are flesh and still have dreams. The jealousy of my sisters was a dark shade on me. I hope and pray. I heal and fight, but some actions are never enough. The bitter taste of betrayal had burned long in the air. For weeks, the halls of the Adepta Sororitas echoed not with prayers, but with accusations. The jealous canonesses moved like vipers, striking at Joan's reputation, sabotaging supply lines, and poisoning trust. The once united sisterhood fractured into rival factions, black against white, steel against flame, until the blade of civil war tore deep into their ranks. Battle-scarred and exhausted, the sisters tore at one another, each convinced of their righteousness, but blinded to the greater darkness stirring beyond their walls. Then it came, the Necrovorax, a monstrous daemon engine, a twisted fusion of warp-spawned flesh and burning metal, descended upon the shattered convent like a storm of ruin. Its roars shook the cathedral spires, its claws shredded stone and steel alike. The battle was desperate. Sisters who had once spat venom at each other now fought side by side, bolters roaring through smoke and flame. The injured and weary stood shoulder to shoulder with the furious and unyielding. I was at the center, bloodied but unbowed, when I heard the whisper, soft but clear in the chaos.
Call to me.
I dropped to one knee, screaming to the boiling sky, voice raw. Saint Celestine, if you hear me, save your daughters. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then the sky split with a radiant blaze. Saint Celestine descended like a comet of living light, her sword singing with holy fire. Her presence was a beacon that turned despair into hope, fury into purpose. The Necrovorax screamed as she struck, holy flames searing its abominable flesh. The sisters rallied, reforged in the light of the saint. Reinforcements poured in from distant orders, the Argent Shroud, the Ebon Chalice, the Martyr's Lady, united in a single burning purpose. Together, we tore the demon engine down, piece by piece, until its blackened heart shattered beneath Saint Celestine's final searing blow. But the victory was not without cost. I felt my strength falter, wounds deeper than any steel could cut. As I sank to the altar steps, I saw Saint Celestine turn to me, eyes full of sorrow and light.
Joan, you have fought beyond the will of mortals. The Emperor calls you home.
I felt my spirit rise, leaving pain and blood behind, drawn toward a golden radiance. And then I was no longer alone. I awoke in a realm of shimmering light. No pyre, no chains, only peace. Saint Celestine stood before me, her hand outstretched.
Rise, Sister Angel. Your martyrdom is ended. Your battle has just begun.
I looked down and saw wings of radiant flame unfurling from my back, the emblem of the Emperor glowing on my breastplate like a beacon. Back in the material world, the sisterhood spoke my name in awe, not just as a warrior, but as a symbol. I had become something more than flesh and blood. I was a living flame of the Emperor's will, a sister angel, a legend among legends. The first moments of my awakening were unlike any I had ever known. The pain of flesh replaced by a burning clarity, my senses sharpened beyond mortal bounds, wings of radiant fire stretched wide, each feather a living spark illuminating the darkness around me. Saint Celestine's voice was both thunder and whisper.
Joan, you have been reborn as the Emperor's eternal flame. You will inspire the faithful and smite the heretic. Your past life and dreams remain your compass, but now you serve a greater purpose.
I descended back into the world, where war still raged beneath the stars. The sisters gathered around me, eyes wide with awe and hope. They called me the Sister Angel, a beacon in the darkest nights of the 41st millennium. In the battles that followed, my presence turned the tide again and again. I walked through hailstorms of bolter fire unscathed, my wings blazing trails of light that banished shadow and despair. Yet with power came new challenges. The forces arrayed against the Imperium had learned to fear me and to mock me. Whispers of chaos cults sought to corrupt the sisterhood, spreading lies that the Sister Angel was a false idol, a tool of corruption. One night, beneath the shattered spires of a fallen world, I confided in Morven Val and Ephrael Stern, a rare opportunity having Val in the field. Her resplendent golden armor, probably used for public affairs, now a walking chapel, where stained glass windows would rest, were instead the studs of rockets. Val's spear butt planted firmly. "I still hear the voices from my past," I said softly, "the hopes I had for France, the prayers I whispered in fire. They guide me still, reminding me that even in this grim darkness, faith and mercy must endure." Morven's gaze softened, rare and precious.
You carry the weight of 2 worlds, Joan, and you bear it well. You can say you were given a second chance at your mission.
Ephrael nodded.
The past does not chain you, it fuels you. Use it, sister.
Together, we prepared for the battles yet to come. Battles that would test not only steel and fire, but the strength of spirit and the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. Because no matter how far from Domremy I have traveled, no matter how alien this universe, I remain Jeanne d'Arc, the flame that refuses to be extinguished. The war-torn worlds of the Imperium are many, but the fire that burns in the hearts of the faithful can heal even the deepest wounds. From the ashes of endless conflict, High Lord Morven Val called forth a new chapter of the Adepta Sororitas, one forged not only in war, but in compassion. She named it the Order of the Sacred Hearth. The sisters of this chapter carried the flame Joan ignited, fierce warriors, yes, but also healers, protectors, and shepherds of the lost. Their armor bore a new sigil, a radiant hearthfire cradled by angelic wings, a symbol of warmth and sanctuary amid the darkness of the 41st millennium. Joan, now fully risen as the Sister Angel, stood as their patron and guiding light. Through her example, the sisters learned that faith could be a sword and a balm, that to serve the Emperor was to defend humanity not just from its enemies, but from despair itself. The chapter's first crusade was unlike any other. Not only did they purge chaos cults and Xenos marauders, but they rebuilt shattered communities, healed the wounded, and rekindled hope in places long abandoned. Sisters carried the Emperor's mercy in one hand and his wrath in the other. And wherever they went, the story of the Sister Angel spread. A legend not just of war, but of renewal. Joan's voice, the same one that once called to her homeland from the flames, now called to all mankind. Stand firm, be the light, and let no darkness overcome your hearth. The war was unlike any other. A brutal grinding siege on the fortress world of Acheron Prime. Chaos forces, backed by vile Xenos mercenaries, had overwhelmed the Imperial defenders, driving the beleaguered Space Marines and Astra Militarum regiments to the brink of collapse. The skies were choked with smoke, the air filled with screams of the dying and the roar of Promethean fire. Then, amid the darkest hour, a radiant light pierced the gloom. The battle barge Glory of Terra appeared in orbit, emblazoned with the symbol of the Order of the Sacred Hearth. From her descent bays emerged a procession unlike any other. Sisters clad in shining armor bearing the Hearthfire sigil, led by Canoness Lysandra. Ephrael Stern's deadly grace, the living flame of Saint Celestine. And finally, the Sister Angel herself, Saint Joan, wings ablaze with the Emperor's light. Their arrival was a beacon in the void, Regiments of guardsmen who had fought with grim despair found new courage, bolters held steady, and space marines hardened by centuries of war lifted their heads to see the Sister Angel's radiant figure. The sisters moved like a cleansing fire across the battlefield, purging the taint of chaos and Xenos alike with bolter, chainsword, and miracle. Where the enemy thought to crush humanity's last hope, they found only the Emperor's wrath made manifest. The Chaos cultists screamed as Saint Celestine's blade tore through their ranks. Ifral Stern and Keeganil danced among demon spawn like shadows of death, and St. John's very presence seemed to unravel the warp's corruption, demons dissolving as if scorched by holy flame. The Xenos mercenaries fell beneath the combined fury and faith of the Imperium's daughters, their technology no match for the sisters' holy zeal and the inspired courage of space marines and guardsmen alike. When the battle ended, the Order of the Sacred Hearth did not raise banners over shattered ruins and broken corpses. Instead, they became the stewards of healing and renewal. Kents of aid rose alongside the shattered bunkers. The wounded, the broken, and the lost found solace beneath the hearthfire banners. Sisters administered sacred rites of healing, bolstered by Joan's radiant presence, a firm rain washing clean the scars of war. As I stood beside Ifral Stern, watching the survivors tend to one another, I felt the weight of my ancient prayers fulfilled. Ifral, solemn but hopeful, looks at me. I look back.
Fellow Thriceborn, you have done much since I've met you. You've been a true blessing. I am glad you are here, with us.
I smile, reaching and holding onto her shoulder plate. I am also glad that I am here. That I am not alone. The voices from Dombremy whispered still, urging me to carry their hope forward, to bind the wounds of humanity, and to be the eternal flame in the darkness. This was not the end of our battles, but it was a new dawn, one where faith and mercy burned as fiercely as bolter fire. And I knew, as long as the Order of the Sacred Hearth endured, the Emperor's light would never fade.